Anybody
Just
else?
us.
Oh, okay. You, me, and you. No matter how we cut the dice. But what the heck? What's going on? What happened?
I do not know what's going on with my intro right now.
Boy, that song
Hey,
hit
we got
hard.
that fixed. Okay, I had someone make that for me, so that was awesome.
That's
But we got
beautiful.
that fixed, so I am glad that nothing's wrong here. But welcome on the show. Both great guys from the Let's Talk Sports Network. How you doing today, guys?
I'm
I
good.
know.
I feel good. So doing good. Get
There's
ready to go to
not a
Milwaukee.
newborn. There's not a newborn baby crying in the background, so I'm doing okay.
That's good. Well, let's hop into the questions. The Chiefs versus Browns is going to be Saturday, last preseason game. Obviously, the Cleveland Browns quarterback Dorian Thompson-Robinson is performing very well at a very high level. Do we think the Chiefs get it done? Obviously, it's just preseason, but do we think the Chiefs get it done? I think they do, because I mean, it's the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, for crying out loud.
We're at home though, and if my memory serves me straight, the last preseason game, I'm pretty sure is one of our worst games because we don't have any starters playing, right? And also, it's also a lot of third and fourth string. So I'm gonna go no, because every game I've attended in the last preseason game, we've come back and lost. So we're usually ahead, but we've come back and lost. So I'm gonna go no, but that again, it's preseason, don't matter. It's not what we're looking for.
I agree. I mean, it's nice that you get to see your starters every now and then. Vrabel hides everything behind a chalkboard. I don't even know what Ryan Tannehill looks like anymore. It's crazy. They had only one defensive starter starting for both games, and it was the middle linebacker. And he was the only one making anything happen. Well, I take that back. There was a guy named Murphy who was making something happen. But like you guys said, it's preseason, right? Just get the glorified practice that's televised out of the way, and let's get to some real gridiron stuff.
Yeah, I really don't care whether we win or lose. I'm just trying to see the guys like Justin Ross, Amir Smith-Marset go off, and
Yes.
Deneric Prince. I think he needs to have a big game to even now maybe make the roster. He's done nothing, so he has to have a big game to make a case to make this roster. But
I agree.
Indianapolis is looking to shop Jonathan Taylor now. It looks like Kansas City. Are we looking for a Jonathan Taylor? I mean, Pacheco's banged up. McKinnon's old. We know what CEH is. Nothing.
What's your
Prince hasn't
cap
proven
situation?
anything.
Cap's fine. We're usually top. I mean, we're bottom 15, but we're okay still. I mean, this could be a pretty easy situation for Veach. Keep the guys happy, you know. Throw out a third rounder, give him Clyde, and then maybe even throw in a lineman or somebody on defense that's second or third string, and you get yourself an all-star running back.
Well, the Colts have said they want their first round draft pick.
Well, they want something equivalent to the first round draft pick.
Right. Yeah.
That's what it is. And we got receivers galore. We can go ahead and trade one of the receivers before we cut them with it too. With Clyde, you can go Justin Watson, Marset. That's been looking good. You can go as far as MVS if they're willing to accept it. So I think it's doable. Do I see it happening? Not a chance.
No. So what is if now I'm not saying I want this to happen because I don't, but if Veach were to do something, Chris Jones for Jonathan Taylor, sending Chris Jones over, what else would you want from the Colts with the Jonathan Taylor? What picks would you want? Any other players?
Let's pull this up here real quick here. We're talking about Chris Jones here. Granted, we're not paying him right now. Chris Jones here. Let's just say give me. So we're taking JT. Let's go down the way here. Give me DeForest Buckner. Give me Shaq Leonard. Give me Juju Brents.
You don't want Shaq Leonard. He keeps getting hurt.
He's fine now. He's fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
You know what? You can even throw in Titus Leo defensive end there just for the kicks of it. But I want big names to come with anything Chris Jones related.
That
And
what
a
you
young
just
guy.
named there, I'll accept that. That's a lot of great players right there. I'll accept that.
We're talking about the
'Cause
best
Chris Jones
defensive
is almost
tackle
30
in the-
years
in the
old.
league. Yeah, he's only 30.
Maybe you could do something with Shaq Leonard. All I do is him saying, I just don't want to end up a highlight on Derrick Henry's wheel. And every year these play, Derrick Henry has thrown him like a
He's in the
rat.
wrong league for that. All he
Yeah.
has to do is come back over to the. If he comes
3
to the
years
Chiefs,
straight.
all he has
3
to worry about is Eckler. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's fine. You could take him. I know a lot of Colts fans always rep Shaq Leonard, and then there's always the highlight of Derrick Henry throwing him like a rag doll all over the place
every time. Well, he throws a lot of guys for like rag dolls.
Yeah, but Shaq Leonard calls him out, and then Derek. It's like an old Marshawn Lynch clip, right? Just seek the contact, and he's like, "Oh, look, there's Shaq Leonard." Bam. Bye, bud. So
Bleacher Report came out with something earlier, and Chris Jones also tweeted this on Twitter. Chiefs Chris Jones suggests he'll hold out through Week 8 without a new contract, and he did make that pretty clear on Twitter. Obviously, that's not good.
Or Arrowhead Pride, not Arrowhead Pride. Somebody else Arrowhead. I can't remember. I follow him.
What's the
he came out.
What's the holdup here?
He's not getting his contract. He's not getting the money he wants. Which I say, pay the freaking guy already.
Sure.
He's
afford it.
You're talking about core guys. This is a core guy. Go pay the guy. Get him his money. But he's not getting his money. And he came out on Twitter and said, somebody said, one of the Arrowhead guys said, that's a hefty tab, right?
Yeah.
And Chris Jones replied, I can afford it.
Well,
I don't think it's happening, but at the same time, it's just Chris Jones responding to don't tell me what's hefty on my part. I'll tell you what's hefty and not. Okay.
Well, yeah. Look, I was in Cap Hill all off season, and what did they do? They moved money, cut players to get Jeffrey Simmons in the middle of your defense because Jeffrey Simmons is a difference maker on your defense. You do whatever you have to do. If that guy is a cornerstone of the defense, and I kind of think he is on that line.
He is.
Yeah, he pay the man, pay him.
So he made it clear he would stay out till Week 8. Do we think he's bluffing and just trying to get Veach to get this done quick, or do you think he really is being serious?
No, I think he's not letting the fans think, to kind of know what's going on. So he's just going to respond to them. With the most atrocious thing out there, sitting out till Week 8, right? I don't think it's happening. I think we still see him Week 1. I'm not overly worried about it still. The deal will get done. Stuff's going to get done here. I'm very sure of it because we're getting closer to preseason being finished this weekend. So I'm not too concerned. I don't think he sits out to Week 8. I think he's just having some fun with the fans and, just giving them a really hard time, which some of these guys I'm for.
Yeah.
Do we see Chris Jones being on a snap count to get back in football shape during these first games or no?
Nope.
No.
We'll go. You sit out for 3 games, 4 weeks through the training camp, and you're expected to still be Andy Reid's right team. He expects these guys. They train hard. They go hard. Chris Jones knows about it. Okay, this is not some new guy, the big player. This is a guy. And so he's expected to be football shape, ready to go.
He's a vet.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Yeah, he'll be good.
So we obviously know what this Chiefs defensive line is. At defensive tackle, all you got is Chris Jones. And we know that Charles Omenihu is going to be suspended for 6 games. So we know that, the pass rushing room, I believe.
Domestic violence.
That's what it was.
Jeez.
And we obviously know this D-line is not, the best right now. So would you see Brett Veach bringing in a veteran guy that is known to the kingdom like Melvin Ingram or Carlos Dunlap, who actually both of them did really well for us when they did come and play? I think it makes sense. Omenihu's going to be suspended for 6 games, and more depth would make sense to help develop these rookies. What do you guys think?
I think that there's going to be players cut that people don't want to get rid of, and they're going to try to quietly move on the practice squad that are actually pretty decent to good players. And I think Veach will probably snipe some from that. And they might get a name there or whatnot, but every year it seems like people find some pretty good depth when that last preseason game hits. Is all of a sudden it's people you've never seen, but people have been watching in the building. And they all of a sudden they're wearing a Chiefs uniform.
Just yeah. He goes after his guys that get cut. He likes that. I mean, we're gonna see a lot of guys on our team get cut, and he'll go after and pick up guys. Do I see a Dunlap or a Melvin Ingram reunion? I do. I see a Dunlap one. I still think as long as he's available, I think he comes back and is a part of this line. You're talking about vet presence. You just lost Frank Clark. Granted, people judge Frank Clark all the time, right? The guy was still a vet presence. We saw the difference between him and Kando, through a few games, and there was a difference. There was a guy being able to solidify an edge versus not, right, and letting it go by. So having a guy like Frank Clark or missing Frank Clark is going to hurt. Bringing in a Dunlap, a guy that you're able to you don't have to play every down. Have him come fill in on the third downs. Have him come fill in on those big plays and be the vet presence to be able to read plays. That's the guy. That's the guy I want is Dunlap in this thing. I still think he might still come back before week 1.
Yeah, I agree. Is Danny Sheldon obviously this huge defensive tackle for the Chiefs?
Massive.
Obviously, he's been performing decent here in the preseason, and like I said, the defensive tackle room is not very good right now, other than Chris Jones. Is he a sleeper to make this roster?
I think so, and I think unfortunately, looking at guys such as Daniel Wise and Tershawn Wharton, possibly on the cut list, and it's scary to say a guy like Tershawn Wharton, for God's sake, who had he had a really good season 2 years ago, got injured last year, and still working his way back from injury. But Danny Shelton, he's been utilized in training camp on the offensive side. He's been utilized on the defensive side a lot, and he's actually been looking decent compared to what he was last year when he was with us. So, I think he might be a guy that sneaks in, and unfortunately, you're going to get guys such as Daniel Wise, who started first team of the first overall preseason game, along with Tershawn Wharton, who's coming back from an injury, might be just cut bait in the end, and it sucks to say that.
Yeah. I like Danny Sheldon a lot. I love Turk Wharton a lot as well. But I mean, what has Turk Wharton done in the preseason? Nothing, because he can't play. And Danny Sheldon has proven that he can play.
But who you going to keep, right? So let's say Chris Jones comes back. Okay, that's one. Derek Nottie, 2, right? We know Nottie's going to be there. We know Corburn's going to be there, our rookie. Okay, so that leaves you maybe one other spot on this deep roster, just for the fact that the wide receivers and running backs and the tight ends might be a little deeper as well. So that leaves you possibly one spot, and that goes between Shelton, Wise, and Wharton. And Wharton, like you said, Wharton hasn't been playing. He's been practicing, but on the sideline, but that's it. And that might end up hurting him more than anything. Maybe he goes on some kind of PUP list, right, and still stayed on the roster as an injury. Then they just decide week 6. But unfortunately, guys like Daniel Wise, who were really good preseason 1, week 1, it might be the chopping block, because you might keep Shelton over those guys just because of the veteran presence too.
Yeah. I mean, right now, I think it has to be Danny Sheldon, because like we said, he's proven stuff. But speaking of Frank Clark, he only signed a 1-year deal with the Denver Broncos. He obviously loves Andy Reid. He's made that clear before. He loves his teammates. Him and Chris Jones are, just huge friends. Frank Clark is a playoff Frank Shark Clark for us here in Kansas City. Playoff monster. Only signed a 1-year deal with Denver. Do you guys see a Kansas City Frank Clark reunion after that 1 year with Denver? I can see it.
Maybe as like the vet guy, like a Dunlap Ingram, and then now Frank Clark comes in that mix. I'm not ruling it out. I'd say it's kind of doubtful. Really, maybe it's a guy you pick up, midway through the season, kind of thing, like we did in Ingram week 5, week 6. We traded for him, so it might be that situation there, but I don't know. I don't think that's a permanent, 3-year deal. I think as your 1 year, fill in this year, we'll see about next year kind of thing, on that. So I could see him as a vet guy you pick up. I mean,
Yeah.
Veach is good about that stuff. So
Oh yeah, Veach usually mid-season does like to pick up somebody, whether that's offense or
Mhm.
defense, trade, free
remember,
agent.
he went out for Ingram. We were trying to get Ingram in the preseason there, and then he ended up signing for Pittsburgh for a little bit more money than we wanted to give him. And then Veach still pulled the trigger in the end to go get Ingram, and we still got we were able to get him in. So like, just because you see a guy maybe sign for more money, doesn't mean he's completely ruled out of the situation.
Yeah. What are some of our Chiefs' concerns and Titans' concerns? Obviously, I mean, my concern was the wide receiver room, but now that I've seen it, I love what I'm seeing from Rashee Rice, Richie James, Justin Ross is kind of getting in there, so I'm not really concerned right now with the wide receiver room. My biggest concern is obviously defensive line, but I think my even bigger concern is running back right now. Pacheco, in his first year, is already having to get surgery. McKinnon's getting older. CEH, I mean, we know he doesn't prove anything ever. And Deneric Prince, this guy that is supposed to be hype with Isaiah Pacheco, hasn't proven anything either. What are the concerns for the Chiefs and Titans going into the season?
Chiefs, it's for me, if I'm a Chiefs fan, it's the defense. They keep letting some plays get by them during games and whatnot. I don't think they're a bad unit, but there's a couple of things you'll watch a team run a basic play and they'll let it get by. And it's just really weird. It's like the Malik Willis playing last year, right? He's playing in Arrowhead. They threw a simple out route to Chigakonkwo, and they let him get like 60 yards down the field. It's just a play here and there, that Chiefs defense that seems to get by people, or you just get beat by somebody, but that you can't outscore, or something like that. I have no concerns about the Chiefs offense. In fact, like in general, I don't have concerns about the Chiefs at all. But other than the defense is the only thing I can see. If they have a poo-poo game, they really need to rely on Patrick Mahomes to win it. Titans concerns, geez, special teams, and offense. That's all our concerns. They got rid of the 2 kickers they've had through 2 preseason games today, and in walks Michael Badgley, who's still getting used to it. People freaked out. He missed 4 field goals, but people don't take into account that you have a different holder. You have somebody that have to, go through practice with or whatnot. So, and I imagine word on the street in Nashville is that they're going to talk to Mason Crosby. Oh, no, it's not Mason Crosby. It's who is the kicker for Green Bay? He lives here.
Oh,
it's not Mason.
Oh,
is his name Mason Crosby?
Mason
Crosby.
Is that his name? Okay, cool. I got it right. Yeah, he lives here.
I was like, man, you're making me feel like I didn't know. I'm like, no, that's the only name I can think of.
So he lives here, and Gold lives here too. So there's talk about that. I mean, those guys are old or whatnot, but I mean, you got to have somebody more consistent. Vrabel pays so much attention to his wonderful defense and the kind of subpar to mediocre offense that it seems like special teams the last 5 years, gosh, it's been rough. It's been rough, guys. It's been rough. That's the only concern.
I think Robbie Gould would be good for you guys. I think pretty consistent.
I agree. I would have called him a long time ago. a long time ago.
So Tanner, what are the Chiefs and Titans concerns for you?
Well, a little bit more in depth than the Chiefs, right? It is the defense. I'm not worried about the running backs, kind of like you, Bryce. I think we're fine with Pacheco. He was being put in bubble wrap during the training camp, right, in preseason games. But surgery on your hand, whatever, crap happens as you're running back. You get hit a bunch, especially the way he runs. He looks fine. He looks really good on the field. Training camp both days I was there. McKinnon's fine. He'll be used sparingly, but I don't think Prince might not make it. But I think you still carry a fourth running back somewhere. So we got to watch for that. But it's the defensive line. It's the whole defense in general, and it's more for me. It's more the goal line defense. Remember, we were 31st in efficiency in stop in the red zone last year. Still won the Super Bowl. We were 31st, and we just could not figure out how to make stops. We had a couple stops in the Chargers game. Remember that big interception by Jalen Watson there? But we got to do better there. And now we got these younger guys in the secondary. Another year in, right? Snead's going to come out after his injury as well. He should be looking good as well on that. So there's that. Chris Jones has to get back. Until Chris Jones gets back, that defense is the worry. Our middle is awesome, right? I have no worries with Chanel, Bolton, Gay, Tranquil. We're set there. I have zero worries about these guys. It's the D-line, and can the secondary stay with their guys and not do what Derek Carr did to them the first preseason game. So that's my concern there. I'm very little on offense. We got a set line. As long as we got a freaking line that's dominant, that thing will go. So it's not a big worry.
They're going to go regardless. That's how I feel. They're going to go regardless.
We didn't have an offensive line for Super Bowl 54, so
that was that was an interesting one.
Or Super Bowl 55.
Yeah, a little bit more of it. So, I don't know with the Titans. I'm a little worried about a little bit of everything with the Titans. Is Tannehill's ego busted? After all this talks with Mayo Levis and Malik Willis, who can't throw a ball. The defense should be fine, but it's more on the offensive side. Can they consistently go at drives? Can they keep Tannehill upright? Can they keep him healthy and keep it going? And can they reduce some of these injuries that they've had issues with during the last 3 years? If they can do that during Vrabel's tenure, if they can just be healthy 75% of the way, they have a real shot at this conference or this division of theirs. Okay,
I agree.
The issue is, where's Tannehill's head at? Where's his ego at? Is this guy going to come out like he did a couple years ago, 19, when they won the 1 seed? Or are we going to get, last year's where Tannehill's fearing for his life and just can't get the ball out and you have to run the ball 900 times, right? Yeah. It's going to be interesting there for Tennessee. It's the offensive side.
So far this preseason, 67% first downs, passing. Tim Kelly. Tim Kelly is at work. They're also leading in preseason with drop passes. But none of the starters are starting, of course. It's
I bet you Deontay Johnson for Pittsburgh could beat that.
that percentage. I think we all could beat it, Tanner. Okay.
No. Anyway. I'm saying he'd be worse. So.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Be him that many throws.
But drops are up around the league during preseason already. So
but it happens. It happens, man. Don't worry about it. That's what preseason's for. Let them figure out the mistakes. Look at the fields, the opportunities you got to go, and then you tackle it right away.
In the preseason.
Amen to that.
I was just saying.
Get out of the way.
Just saying.
And, now you look at the Chiefs QB2 spot. We know Andy Reid loves a veteran backup quarterback. He's loved it for years.
That guy cannot go in. That guy cannot go in.
We know that they signed Blaine Gabbert in the offseason because Andy Reid likes his veteran backup QBs. And Blaine Gabbert and Shane Buechele have both performed very, very, very well in the preseason. So it's hard to kick them both off the roster. You can obviously bring all three, but I think you can probably just let one on and just have 2 QBs and save, let that extra roster spot go to an extra wide receiver or something. Does Shane Buechele finally get his chance at QB2, which I think is well deserved, or does Andy Reid continue his tradition of letting, old quarterbacks on the roster? Now, obviously, they're both playing well, so it's hard to get rid of, one of them. But I just feel like you can. I think you only really need 2 quarterbacks here.
as someone that has had Blaine Gabbert as his backup quarterback, I totally think it's Shane's time to shine. So I'll tell you that right now. That guy, I'm glad he's performing well during this preseason or whatnot, but I've been hurt by that man, so I got to tear out the personal feelings from it. But no, I think totally Shane could do it. If Shane's got a better arm than Blaine does, and Blaine's never had a great arm, then I think Andy Reid will go for that. Same, Andy Reid, the West Coast offense guy, the better arm will play. I mean, that seems like that should be cut and dry. If Shane's got it, he's got it. Go ahead, Tanner.
You're not gonna like my answer on this one, then. Blaine Gabbert will be the backup quarterback. He'll be the number 2. And it's just for the fact that vet presence, and he's had a couple of really good throws there. And that's kind of just what Andy wants. He wants a guy that's been around the league a little bit in this 2 spot. He also wants to make sure that he can throw the ball a little bit, which Blaine can. And he showed it in preseason. So nothing to read into the Shane Buechele starting in the 2 spot after Patrick Mahomes last week. I think you're going to see Blaine Gabbert start the game this upcoming week there for preseason 3. But yes, I think Blaine Gabbert's your 2. I actually do think we keep all 3, because you got to remember too, Shane Buechele, he was on the practice squad. Arizona, Kyler Murray went down last year, right? They had to sign Shane Buechele to the 53 man because Arizona was wanting to pick him up. So they're not going to let Shane out of their sight. So we're going to sit there with 3 quarterbacks, and that might cost somebody on the receiving side, such as Justin Watson, Nico Remigio, God forsaken, a freaking Justin Ross, something in that matter. Like I don't want any of that to happen. Emir Smith-Marset, like we're gonna lose somebody, right? We're gonna lose somebody that's been really effective for our team in 2 years in the preseason here. So, but I think you keep 3 QBs.
As much as I want Shane Buechele to take that QB2 spot, it's hard to say that Andy Reid's going to break that tradition of loving his veteran QBs at the QB2 spot. But obviously the Chiefs see something in Shane Buechele because they're not letting him go. They obviously really like him. So
correct. I mean, he could have been gone. He could be in Arizona right now, and they want him for a reason. And they got Blaine Gabbert for a reason because he was behind Tom Brady for so long, or for the couple years, right? So you have that mix there. You saw what they wanted with Shane Buechele. Shane Buechele's still giving it out to you with the 3 QB spot. Okay, he's still out there performing like he's nothing, right? It's awesome to see. He doesn't go away. You keep him on. You stick with the 3 QBs at least one more year.
Beautiful.
Chiefs.
Yawn.
This is the first time I've ever got a comment on my live stream, so this is
Hey.
awesome. That's
Thanks,
awesome.
Effie.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
But
we're part
thanks
of the
guys
first
for coming on. Thanks guys for coming on the show today. I thought it was, really awesome. Obviously
be
here in
here.
the future, here we want to get all y'all and Botkins on too. So we'll see what we can work
Do you
out.
really
But
want Botkins on, Bryce?
Yeah,
I mean,
do you
I know you
Yeah,
had him on
great.
once, but
Do you though?
do we really want him on here?
He's
Yeah.
gonna be mean to me.
So there's
Well-
one vote, but unfortunately, the one that matters is the host.
Yeah. Hey, don't say that live, Tanner. Come on.
Oh, I'll send this clip to him just so he knows.
Oh yeah. As soon as he sees this clip, he's like, finally. how the turns have tabled.
No, it was fun, Bryce. Appreciate you having us on. So
Yeah, but
yeah,
fun time.
It was awesome. But great questions, great answers, and we'll see what we can do to get on Botkins. But until
Yeah.
next
Right.
time, everybody. Hashtag Chiefs
Go
Kingdom.
Chiefs.
Go Chiefs. Go Chiefs. Yep.
Turn up.
Bye, everybody.
The lone voice out here.